Welcome to the Everyday is Saturday podcast, the #1 motivation show on the planet.
No more Mondays for you. It's time to make every day Saturday. Boom!
This is the podcast where we help you to accept who you are, not where you are.
On the roller coaster of life, you know we only sit in the front seat, champion. So make sure you are fastened and tight. Let's go!
Tired of feeling run down all the time during the week? We can help you make every day feel like it's a Saturday.
Let's go. Pack your bags. It's time to leave Averageville.
Introducing the man who thinks abnormal stands for above normal.
When you're on fire, people will travel from miles around to watch you burn, baby. We are fired up.
The host of the Everyday is Saturday show, Sam Crowley.
Hello, champion, and welcome back to the Everyday is Saturday podcast. Great to have you with me inside the #1 motivational podcast on the planet. Let's dive right in. You know, success is built on mountains of failure. Lose a lot, and then you got to start winning. Are you comfortable with that? Yeah, it makes some people a little bit, I don't know, man. Who wants to lose? I don't want to lose a lot. Do you like losing a lot? No, but if you submit 200 job applications, you might get one job. You send out 500 cold emails, you might get a client. You write 300 posts on your favorite social media platform, LinkedIn, Facebook. Maybe you do a bunch of YouTube videos. Maybe one goes viral. How about podcasting? Are you willing to record hundreds of episodes before one really gains a lot of traction? You get that new client, you get that speaking gig. Most people aren't willing to do that, and that's why success is reserved for those who lose a lot. Now, I don't even consider that losing. We've talked a lot about you never really lose. You either win or you learn, but you got to put the volume out there, and volume is tied to passion. All right, if you have an incredible passion to serve, then you're going to continue to put out that content. You're just going to do it, and eventually it's going to hit you that here's the thought process. If right now you're doing something and you think, it's not working, there's a really good chance that what you're doing, like that thing you're doing, it's not the problem. The problem is you're just not doing enough of it and putting your head down and continuing to do that. You know, physical fitness, we equate that a lot on the show as well. You know, you go to the gym, I'm jumping on the scale, I don't really weigh any less. Well, it's not about that. It's about continuing to go to the gym. Scales can lie. I think any good fitness coach, at least the ones that I've hired, and I've hired a lot of them, say don't go anywhere near the scale. Just stay away from it. It's lying to you, all right? Do your pants fit a little looser after 3 weeks? Yeah, but the scale says you weigh more. How's that possible? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, especially in the space that I work in the speaker, in the marketing, in the podcasting space. And by the way, if you're somebody who feels like you've got an incredible passion to get a message out there, but you're just not quite clear on what that message is or how it could serve somebody else, I promise you, there's a story to share and a lesson to teach. You got to jump inside of our mastermind group. At least find out what it's about. Easiest way to do that, go to launchmymovement.com and book a call. Let's have a conversation. We'll be real honest with you, let you know. I promise you, there's been so many people showed up on that Zoom call that I don't really have, and we found, oh my gosh, I do have $1 million message. So do that. You owe it to yourself to do that. And when you think about doing something over and over again, you know, people are more than happy to go to a job. I mean, every day, every year for 40 years. What kind of result are you getting from that? You know, you get a paycheck, okay, but is that really a result? You know, if you look at Gallup polls that show 80% of the people are not passionate about what they do every day for a job, that means really the only reason they're going is to get that dopamine hit, that paycheck every other week or every week, whatever that looks like. But they're not passionate about that. But they're willing to do it in large volumes. They're willing to take orders. They're willing to ask for permission for 2 days off a week after they work 5 days. I mean, there's a lot that we're willing to do that is really conforming to what society tells us that we should do. You know, that industrial age mentality, that going to a job every single day. I promise you, you have such a unique talent. And maybe nobody's ever spoken that blessing into you. You know, maybe you've never had anybody pull you inside and say, wow, you know what? This is pretty amazing what you're doing. And we definitely don't do enough of that in society. If anything, we do the opposite. We tear people down. People put themselves out there online to try to help, and then you'll have some internet sniper out there, some keyboard cowboy come around and say something negative, and then it takes somebody out of the game who's not willing to just tune that stuff out and continue to create the volumes of work, knowing that even though you're not getting the feedback, you're not getting that dopamine hit, you're not getting that paycheck right away, I promise you, especially in the podcasting space, I promise you 100% guaranteed there's somebody waking up on the other side of the world that is subscribed to your podcast, that is listening to it. They're not letting you know they're listening, but they're listening to it, and they look forward to you putting that content out there. It blesses them. It helps them. It gets them closer to feeling like they can be like you, you know? And here's what's funny. The way you view yourself, at least if you're like me, you know, I still, to this point, I don't view myself as anything more special than anybody else out there. And when I first got started, I definitely didn't view myself as anything special. If anything, the opposite, like total imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing? I'm yelling into this microphone. Nobody's listening. And they were listening, but I didn't think they were. And I wasn't getting any positive reinforcement. But it was so much bigger than me, and it's so much bigger than you. It's not about you. It's about the person and the people and the community that you're impacting out there, and that connection that you're making between you and them. You know, so similar to what we talked about, all those job applications, all those emails you send, all those recordings that you create, maybe one in the first stages hits and lands. Maybe you get that first client. It's all you need. I mean, that is really all you need. When you get that first client, or when you get that first individual who thanks you for helping you, for getting them through this process, that is all you need. And then 1 turns into 5, and 5 turns into 20, and away you go. But are you willing to have that mountain of what people perceive as failure? Are you willing to climb that in order to get to success? Tough question. You know, like I said, if it was so easy, you know the deal, right? Everybody would be out there like, cha-ching, cha-ching, I'm making money, I'm loving life, I've got my vision board, and every single one of these is coming true. What if one of them just came true? You know what my vision board used to look like? And I actually did. I remember John Assaraf, who was not nearly as well known as he is right now. John, oh God, I forget the name of the book. Okay, whatever. I forget. Hold on one second. I'm going to actually stop this, Google it, and come back, because I think it's important, because this is a book that he put out back 20 years ago that caught my attention. All right, I found it. It's called The Street Kid's Guide to Having It All. It came out in 2003. And John Assaraf is now, you know, one of the most famous personal development speakers and marketers out there. But back then he really wasn't. And I found this book, and he talked about having a vision board. And I thought, well, okay, I just quit my job, launching a podcast. I think having a vision board would be a pretty good idea. You know what was on my vision board? It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't a private jet or anything like that. It was a McDonald's drive-thru. A McDonald's drive-thru. Why was it a McDonald's drive-thru? Because the best moments of my life were putting the kids in the minivan and firing that baby up and going through McDonald's and getting a $1 cone, getting an ice cream cone for $1. And that was just our best time. We sang songs in the van. We had a great time. We would pull over and eat the ice cream cones. And I would just listen to the kids, you know? We just hung out. Those were the greatest times, because I never saw the family. You know, I was always at my job, and I thought, man, that vision board. Imagine going through McDonald's every day with the kids and getting a $1 cone. I mean, that's what really drove me. But that's the stuff we're really after, right? The memories, the moments. It's not the money. And, you know, kind of side note, I had dinner with John Assaraf about, I don't even know, maybe 5-10 years later in Las Vegas. We were both speaking at an event, and he goes, hey, you want to grab a bite to eat? Hey, sure, why not? Why not? Sounds really good. I bought your book, and I've been following you, so it was just an amazing time. I got to pick his brain, ask a ton of more questions about all of that thing, about having a powerful vision, that $1 million vision. And the $1 million vision for me was going through McDonald's with my kids and spending time with them. So all of that was built on mountains of failure. creating the volume, showing up. That event I was at in Vegas, I just showed up. I was one of the speakers there. None of that would have happened without a podcast, without that original moment of just saying, the hell with it, I'm just going to go for it. Don't have any idea what's going to happen. I'm just going to go for it. God's got this. I believe this is a vision from God. I believe that he's going to use me as a vessel to get this information out there, and I'm never going to stop. I am never going to stop. So I hope this audio today just got you jacked up. It showed you what's possible. Something will happen for you. Something will go viral. You'll get that client. You'll start earning the income that you deserve to earn. It's not going to be easy, but it's not worth it if it's easy. It's not worth it if it's easy. All right? I need you to hear that. But man, that journey, that process, that person that you become oh man, I get so excited. I start stuttering. Here's the ex-stutterer coming out in me. That person you become along the way. That's worth everything, baby. That's worth everything. All right, I hope this planted a seed in good soil with you. Share it with somebody that needs to hear it. And man, just get after it. Don't worry about the setbacks. Just keep going. All right, let's go. Say it with me, gang. Have the best day ever. And that's a wrap. Another Everyday Saturday podcast in the books. Thanks so much for listening. Would you do your boy a favor? Would you get on iTunes or wherever you listen to the Everyday Saturday podcast and leave a rating for the show? It helps amazing people like you find the show faster. And that's what I'm looking for. Amazing people like you. Hey, I'm always hanging out on the interwebs. You can check me out on Instagram at EverydayIsSaturday. Let me know you're listening to the show. Love hearing from fans of the Everyday Saturday podcast. And one last thing, when you're ready to launch, get on my calendar. Go to launchwithsam.com. You and I are going to work together to set rocket fuel to your dream. Are you ready? Let's do it. I'll see you on the next Everyday is Saturday podcast.